Hello and welcome back to the Speak English Corner podcast. I'm so happy to have you here again today. If you've been following this podcast, you know that we usually share personal stories or practical lessons to help you not only practice English, but also grow as a person. Today's episode is very special because we'll be talking about something that affects all of us, no matter who we are, where we live, or what we do. Time. The title of this episode is Don't Waste Your Time, You're Not Young Forever. Now you may already know this in your heart. You've probably heard it from parents, teachers, or maybe even from motivational videos. But today I don't want this to be just another reminder. I want you to feel it. I want you to see time as something so real, so valuable, and so precious that you'll never look at your daily routine the same way again. Time. Our most valuable resource. Let's start with a simple thought. If I gave you $1,000 right now, what would you do? Most people would smile, feel excited, and start thinking about what they could buy. But what if I told you that I could also give you 1 extra hour of life? An hour to spend with your loved ones, to learn something new, to create something, or to simply enjoy the world around you. Which one would you value more, the money or the hour? The truth is, money can always be earned again. If you lose a job, you can find another. If you spend too much, you can save more later. But time can never be replaced. Once it's gone forever. And that's the key. We all know this, yet we often act like our time is unlimited. We waste hours scrolling on social media, binge-watching videos, or lying in bed thinking about things we can't change. Every day, we're given the same gift, 24 hours. No more, no less. Whether you're a student, a CEO, or someone unemployed, your day is still 24 hours long. The difference lies in how you use it, why time feels invisible. You see, the tricky thing about time is that it doesn't shout at you. When you waste money, your wallet feels lighter. But when you waste time, you don't notice it immediately. Only later, maybe weeks, months, or even years later, do you realize how much you've lost. Think about your childhood. Do you remember how slowly days seemed to pass when you were a kid? Summer vacations felt endless. A single day at school felt like forever. But as you grow older, time seems to fly. 1 week disappears in the blink of an eye. 1 year passes before you even notice. That's because when we're young, everything is new, exciting, and memorable. But as we get older, life becomes repetitive. Our brains stop paying attention to details, so time feels shorter. This is another reason why we must use our time wisely while we still can. The bank account of time, imagine this. Every morning, a magical bank account puts 400 seconds into your life. That's 24 hours. You can spend those seconds however you want, but at the end of the day, whatever you didn't use is gone. You can't save it. You can't transfer it to tomorrow. If you wasted half your day being lazy, worrying too much, or overthinking, those hours are gone forever. And tomorrow you'll start fresh with another 24 hours. But yesterday's lost time will never come back. The question becomes, how do you want to spend those 400 seconds each day? Real-life examples. Let me give you 2 quick examples. Example 1. A young person spends 4 hours every night scrolling on TikTok or Instagram before bed. They laugh, they enjoy the content, but they don't learn, they don't create, they don't grow. After 1 year, that's about 1,460 hours wasted. Imagine what they could have done in that time. Learned a new language, started a small business, read 50 books, or built real relationships. Example 2. Another young person spends 1 hour every night practicing guitar, learning coding, or reading. After a year, they may not be world-class yet, but they have a skill, a foundation, and confidence. They invested their time instead of wasting it. See the difference? It's not about making huge changes overnight. It's about making small, consistent decisions every single day. And this brings us to the heart of today's episode. We are not young forever. Time is slipping away whether we notice it or not. The question is, will you let it slip through your fingers, or will you use it to create something meaningful? Now that we've talked about the value of time, let's dig deeper into the ways we actually waste it in our everyday lives. You see, most people don't intentionally waste time. Nobody wakes up in the morning and says, "Today, I want to waste 5 hours of my life." But it still happens. Quietly, slowly, and almost invisibly, through our habits and routines. Today, I want to highlight some of the most common time-wasting traps. As you listen, think honestly. Am I guilty of this? Do I do this too? Because awareness is the first step to change social media overuse, let's be honest. Social media is probably the biggest time thief in the modern world. Scrolling through endless feeds, watching short videos, liking posts, checking notifications, it feels fun and harmless. But before you know it, an hour or two is gone. Here's the tricky part. Social media is designed to keep you hooked. Every swipe, every like, every notification gives your brain a tiny dose of dopamine, a chemical that makes you feel rewarded. That's why it's so addictive. Now, don't get me wrong. Social media isn't bad in itself. It helps us connect, learn, and sometimes even find inspiration. But the problem is when it controls you instead of you controlling it. Imagine this. You pick up your phone just to check something. 20 minutes later, you're watching funny cat videos, then trending memes, then someone's travel vlog. By the time you look at the clock, it's been an hour and you don't even remember why you opened the app in the first place. That's wasted time. Time you could have used to build your future. Procrastination, another. Huge time waster is procrastination. You know that feeling when you have something important to do, like writing an assignment, preparing for a presentation, or even cleaning your room, but you keep delaying it? You tell yourself, "I'll do it later. Maybe tomorrow." But tomorrow becomes next week. And suddenly you're rushing at the last minute, stressed and overwhelmed. The problem with procrastination is not just the wasted time, but also the mental energy it steals. When you avoid a task, it doesn't disappear. It stays in your mind, making you feel guilty and anxious. And ironically, the more you delay it, the harder it becomes to start. Think about it. How many hours have you wasted just thinking about the work you need to do instead of actually doing it? Overthinking. Closely related to procrastination is overthinking. Overthinking happens when you spend too much time worrying, analyzing or imagining worst-case scenarios instead of taking action. For example, let's say you want to start a YouTube channel. Instead of recording your first video, you spend weeks researching cameras, lights, and microphones. You worry about whether people will like your content. You imagine negative comments that don't even exist yet. Result? You've wasted countless hours thinking but produced nothing. Overthinking makes you stuck in your head. It feels like you're working, but you're not actually moving forward. And the longer you overthink, the more opportunities you miss. Mindless entertainment now. Entertainment is important. We all need to relax sometimes. Watching a movie, playing video games, or reading a fun novel can help us recharge. But the danger comes when entertainment turns into escape. For instance, you watch just one episode of a TV series. Suddenly Netflix asks, "Next episode?" And you click yes. Before you know it, you've spent 6 hours binge watching. Or you play one game for just a few minutes, and 3 hours later, you're still glued to the screen. The truth is, entertainment is easy. It gives you instant satisfaction, but it doesn't build your future. If you're spending more time escaping reality than facing it, you're wasting precious hours you'll never get back. Negative relationships. Here's one people often overlook. Toxic relationships. Spending too much time with people who complain, gossip, or drag you down is a massive waste of your energy and potential. Think about it. Every minute you spend listening to negativity is a minute you could have used to improve yourself. Learn something new, or connect with positive people who support your growth. Your time is precious. Don't waste it on people who don't value it or you. Lack of priorities. Finally, one of the biggest time wasters is simply not having clear priorities. When you don't know what's truly important to you, you end up spending time on whatever feels urgent or easy, instead of what actually matters. It's like driving without a map. You might be moving, but you're not moving in the right direction. For example, you answer every text immediately instead of focusing on your project. You say yes to every invitation. Even when you don't have the energy, you do small, unimportant tasks just to feel busy, instead of tackling the big goals that actually change your life. Being busy is not the same as being productive. Without priorities, you'll always feel like you're running, but never getting anywhere. So, let's recap. The most common ways we waste time are overusing social media, procrastinating, overthinking. Mindle ESS entertainment. Negative relationships, lack of clear priorities now. Ask yourself, which of these is stealing most of my time? Be honest. Because awareness is the first step to change. The good news is, once you identify your personal time-wasting habits, you can start taking small steps to fix them. That brings us to the next part of today's episode. How to use your time wisely and live without regret. We've talked about how people usually waste time through procrastination, overthinking, and endless distractions. But the real question is, how can we use our time wisely? The truth is, time management is not just about productivity. It's about designing your life so you can live with purpose, clarity, and joy. So in this part, I'll share some practical and meaningful ways to make the most of your time. Set clear priorities. The first step is to know what truly matters to you. Without clear priorities, you'll end up wasting time on things that don't add value to your life. So ask yourself, what are my top 3 goals right now? What kind of person do I want to become? If I had only 1 year left, what would I focus on? Once you're clear about your priorities, decision-making becomes much easier. Every time you face a choice, whether it's to go out, scroll on your phone, or work on your project, you can ask yourself, does this move me closer to my goals or away from them? Remember, not everything that feels urgent is important, and not everything that's important will feel urgent. You must learn to recognize the difference. Plan your day. Another way to use your time wisely is to plan your day before it begins. You don't need a complicated system. Even just writing down 3 main tasks for the day can give you focus and direction. Here's a simple method. Morning. Do your most important task first. This builds momentum. Afternoon. Handle smaller tasks and communication. Evening. Reflect. Relax and recharge. When you plan ahead, you take control of your time instead of letting random events control you. Think of it like a ship at sea. Without a map, you'll drift aimlessly. With a map, you know where you're headed. Limit distractions. If you want to save time, you must protect your focus. Distractions are everywhere. Notifications, emails, endless short videos. The average person checks their phone over 100 times a day. That's insane when you think about it. So what can you do? Turn off non-essential notifications. Use apps that block distracting websites when you need to work. Set specific times to check messages instead of responding instantly. Remember, every distraction costs more than just the minutes you lose. It also breaks your concentration, and it can take 15-20 minutes to fully regain focus. Protecting your focus is one of the best time investments you can make. Take action quickly. Here's another key principle. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Many people waste time waiting for the right conditions. When they feel motivated, when they have the perfect tools, when they're ready. But the truth is, perfect conditions almost never exist. Successful people aren't those who wait. They're the ones who start, even if they feel unprepared. Think about it. Writing 1 page today is better than planning to write 10 pages someday. Recording a simple video is better than waiting months for the perfect camera setup. The faster you take action, the more time you save and the faster you grow. Balance work and rest. Using time wisely doesn't mean working nonstop. In fact, rest is just as important as work. When you're constantly busy without breaks, your energy drops and your creativity suffers. That's why taking time to rest, exercise, or enjoy hobbies actually makes you more productive in the long run. So, don't feel guilty about resting. The key is to rest with intention. Instead of mindlessly scrolling, choose activities that truly recharge you, like reading, walking in nature, or spending quality time with loved ones. Remember, time well spent is not only about output, but also about how fulfilled you feel. Spend time with the right people, One of the most powerful uses of your time is to invest it in relationships that matter. As the saying goes, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you're surrounded by people who complain, procrastinate, or waste time, chances are you'll adopt the same habits. But if you spend time with motivated, positive, and inspiring people, you'll naturally rise to their level. So ask yourself, who are the people I give my time to? Do they lift me up or pull me down? Choose wisely, because the people around you will either push you closer to your dreams or further away from them. Create daily habits that build your future. The best way to use your time wisely is to turn small actions into daily habits. Why? Because habits compound. Just like saving money every day grows into wealth, consistent small actions grow into success. For example, reading 10 pages a day, 12 books a year, exercising 30 minutes a day, better health for decades, writing 300 words a day, a full book in 1 year. It's not about huge changes. It's about consistency. Your daily habits determine who you'll become 5 or 10 years from now. So ask yourself, are my current habits building my future or wasting it? Live with intention. Finally, the wisest way to use your time is to live with intention. Don't just let life happen to you. Be intentional about how you spend your days. Because in the end, your days become your weeks become your months, and your months become your life. Every morning, remind yourself, I have 24 hours today. How will I make them count? Whether it's learning, creating, helping others, or simply being present with your loved ones, make sure you're living in a way that you won't regret when you look back years from now. So, to recap, here are 8 powerful ways to use your time wisely. Set clear. Priorities. Plan your day. Limit distractions. Take action quickly. Balance. Work and rest. Spend time with the right people. Build daily habits. Live with intention. Time is life. Every moment you waste is a piece of your life you'll never get back. But every moment you use wisely is an investment in the future you dream of. And now, in the next part, let's talk about the long-term impact of how we use our time, why using it wisely today matters so much for your future self. When we talk about making the most of our time, the conversation often leads to habits. Because time itself is neutral, it simply passes whether we use it wisely or not. What really matters is what we do with it daily. And the truth is, our days are shaped less by motivation and more by habits. Think about it. Motivation comes and goes. Some days you feel like waking up early, some days you don't. Some days you're excited to go to the gym, and some days you'd rather just scroll on your phone. But habits, once built, carry you forward even when motivation disappears. So let's look at a few powerful habits that can help you maximize your time. The habit of prioritization. Start each day by asking, what's the single most important thing I need to do today? Not 10 things, not 20, just one. This practice, often called the one thing rule, forces you to focus on what actually moves the needle. Instead of scattering your energy across dozens of small, shallow tasks, you direct your best effort into something meaningful. Time blocking. This technique involves dividing your day into dedicated blocks of time. For example, a 2-hour block in the morning for deep work, a 1-hour block for exercise, a 30-minute block for learning. By assigning specific chunks of time to specific activities, you avoid the trap of multitasking and distractions. The 2-minute rule. If something takes less than 2 minutes, replying to a quick email, tidying your desk, writing down a note, do it immediately. Why? Because small unfinished tasks pile up in your mind, creating mental clutter that wastes energy and time. Building keystone habits. Some habits have ripple effects across your life. For instance, exercising regularly doesn't just make you healthier, it boosts your mood, improves focus, and helps you manage stress. Waking up early doesn't just give you more time, it sets the tone for a productive day. These keystone habits act like dominoes, knocking down obstacles in other areas of life. The truth is, your future self is the result of the habits you practice today. Time combined with habits creates transformation. A small positive habit practiced every day compounds into extraordinary results in 5 or 10 years. So, if you want to stop wasting time, start by designing your habits intentionally. Sometimes, the best way to understand the value of time is to look at regret. We've all had moments where we thought, if only I had started earlier, or I wish I hadn't wasted so much time on that. Regret is powerful. It teaches us what really matters. One of the most common regrets people share, especially in old age, is not living fully when they were young. They regret spending years in fear of failure, worrying too much about others' opinions, or delaying their dreams until it was too late. Bronnie Ware, a nurse who worked with people in their final days, wrote about the top regrets of the dying. The most common one was, I wish I had lived a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. That statement is chilling because it reminds us that wasting time doesn't just mean being lazy. It also means spending precious years living for the wrong reasons. Another common regret is not spending enough time with loved ones. People often chase careers, money, and external success, but in the end, they realize the relationships they neglected were the real treasures. So, what's the lesson here? Don't wait for regret to teach you. Learn from others' mistakes now. If you're hesitating to start a project, launch an idea, learn a skill, or express your feelings, remember that time will pass whether you act or not. The pain of discipline today is far lighter than the pain of regret tomorrow. Ask yourself, if I continue living the way I am now, will I regret it in 10 years? If the answer is yes, then it's time to change. Regret doesn't have to be a negative force. It can be fuel. It can remind you that life is finite and that the best time to act is not someday, it's now. Now that we've explored the importance of time, the habits to build, and the lessons from regret, the final step is simple. Take action today. It's not enough to just think about time, talk about time, or even plan how you'll use time. Action is what transforms your life. But here's the problem. Many people get stuck in what I call preparation paralysis. They spend endless time preparing, reading self-help books, watching motivational videos, making plans, yet they don't actually start. They're always waiting for the perfect moment. The truth is, there will never be a perfect moment. There will always be uncertainty, discomfort, or fear. That's why the most powerful decision you can make is to start anyway. Here are 3 simple actions you can take today. Define your priorities clearly. Write down the 3 things that matter most to you in life. It could be your career, your health, your relationships, your personal growth. Keep this list visible every day and make sure your time aligns with those priorities. Commit to one small change. Instead of trying to overhaul your life in one go, pick one small but meaningful change. Wake up 30 minutes earlier. Spend 20 minutes a day learning a new skill. Call a loved one once a week. Small actions compound into massive transformation. Remove one time waster. Identify one activity that drains your time without giving much value. Maybe it's scrolling endlessly on social media, binge-watching shows, or saying yes to commitments you don't care about. Cut it down or eliminate it. The time you free up can be redirected to something meaningful. Finally, remember this: your time is your life. Every hour you waste is an hour you'll never get back. But every hour you invest in your growth, your dreams, and your relationships brings you closer to the life you want. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for the right time. The right time is now. So the next time you're tempted to waste another hour, remember, you're not young forever. Use your time wisely and your future self will thank you.